Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki, Srila Advaita Acharya Avirbhav Tithi ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter number 6, entitled The Glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. Text number 5. Advaitam Harina Advaitad Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat Bhaktavataram Isham Tam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye Advaitam Harina Advaitad Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat Bhaktavataram Isham Tam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye Advaitam Harinadvaitat Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat Bhaktavataram Isham Tam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye. Word to word meanings. Advaitam, known as Advaita. Harina, with Lord Hari. Advaita, from being non-different. Acharyam, known as Acharya. Bhakti Samshanat, from the propagation of devotional service to Sri Krishna. Bhakta Avataram, the incarnation as a devotee. Isham, to the Supreme Lord. Tam, to him. Advaita Acharyam, to Advaita Acharya. Ashraye, I surrender. Translation. Because he is non different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of Lord's devotee. Therefore, I take shelter of him. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तुरिंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा we welcome everybody for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class on auspicious occasion of Srila Advaita Acharya appearance day. So I seek blessings of all wonderful devotees assembled here so that I can speak something for my own purification. So today is appearance day of Advaita Acharya. Here this verse is explaining he is called Advaita because he is non-different from Hari. He is non-different from Supreme Lord Krishna. And he is also called Acharya because he is teaching by his own example how to worship Krishna, how to practice devotional service, how to practice bhakti. We see that Krishna is original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govindam Sarva Karana Karanam. That same Krishna expands himself in form of Balramji. Balramji expands in form of quadruple form. Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudev. Again, that Sankarshan expands in form of Narayan, and Narayans are predominating personalities on all the Vaikuntha planets. Narayan expands again in second quadruple form of Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudev, and Sankarshan, second Sankarshan, expands in form of Mahavishnu. Uh, Mahavishnu is really Maha. He lies in a Karana ocean, causal ocean. That ocean is created by perspiration from his own body. And when he lies in that ocean, when he exhales, like we are inhaling air and exhaling air. Similarly, when he exhales, so many universes come from his pores of his bodies. Like from our pores of our body, there are so many small, small hairs coming out. So similarly, unlimited universes come from pores of his body. So Mahavishnu or Karadaksha Vishnu is cause of all the universes in this world. It is said that our lifetime is very small. Maximum in Kali Yuga we may live 100 years. But compared to that, lifetime of Brahma is very great. Uh, Brahma, Brahma's lifetime is in one day of Brahma there are 1,000 yuga cycles. One yuga is one yuga cycle is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. Dwapar is twice of that, Treta is thrice, and Satya Yuga is four times. So one yuga cycle is 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 10. 10 into 4.3. 43 lakh 20,000 years is one yuga cycle. Like that, there are 1,000 yuga cycles in one day of Brahma. And like that, Brahma has 30 days in a month, and he has 12 months in a year. And like that, Brahma lives for 100 years. So Brahma's lifespan is practically unimaginable for human beings. So Brahma's lifetime is 311 trillion 40 billion years. So Brahma is so great. We are not even like an ant also in front of Brahma. But that Brahma's life is uh, just one breath of Mahavishnu or one eyelid. Like when Mahavishnu just blinks his eye, and when his eyes are open, that is time Brahma is born, and when he closes, Brahma dies. In one blink of Mahavishnu, Brahma dies. So 311 trillion 14 years pass just by one blink of Mahavishnu. So you can understand how is huge Mahavishnu. And his body is lying, and from four of his bodies, universes are coming. This universe, with all our telescope and microscopes and all scopes and whatever, we can't fathom the end of this universe also. And such unlimited universes are coming from the pores of Mahavishnu. So when we say Maha, he is really Maha. Uh, Great. So that Mahavishnu, actually, this Advaita Acharya is incarnation of that Mahavishnu. So Advaita Acharya is not ordinary living entity. He's not a Jiva Tattva. He's a Vishnu Tattva. Advaita Acharya is a combination of Mahavishnu plus Sadashiv. Original Shiva is Sadashiv in the spiritual world. And Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu plus Sadashiv combined incarnation. So Advaita Acharya is a really very special personality. We see when Mahavishnu creates universes from his pores of his bodies, Later on, in every universe, Mahavishnu expands himself in form of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And Garbhodakshaya Vishnu lies again in the ocean, and from his navel comes lotus, and from on top of lotus, Brahma is born. So when Brahma is born, Supreme Lord himself mm, inspires him with transcendental knowledge within his heart. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. So Supreme Lord inspires Brahma with knowledge and inspires him to do this secondary creation, create these 14 planetary systems with purpose that all living entities who have come in this material world because of envy to Supreme Lord can become favorably inclined to Lord, and become devotees of Lord, develop love for God, and go back to kingdom of God. So purpose of creation is actually to know Krishna, to develop love for Krishna, and go back to Krishna. So we seen mm, there are many things happening in creation, but the ultimate purpose is this. And for that purpose, this material world is like a prison house. The purpose of prison house is reformation. So material purpose of this material world is reforming the conditioned souls of their envious mentality towards Supreme Lord, and they can develop love for God and go back to God. So we see in one day of Brahma there are so many yuga cycle, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. In Satyuga, most people, all people are actually spiritual minded. They are very pious. There is nobody does any sinful activities. And most of them understand God, understand Dharma. Most of them mm, practice spiritual life very nicely, seriously, and perfect their lives. Next Yuga is Treta Yuga, is little degraded. 25% degradation is there in Treta. And Dwapar Yuga becomes more degraded. Almost 50% of the population gets degraded. And it's said in Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga is most irreligious age. Kali Yuga is age where religion is considered irreligion, and irreligion becomes religion. In previous ages, if people have to do sinful activities, they have to go out of the civilization and some hidden place and do some sinful activities. Nobody could dare to do sinful activities in public. But now Kali Yuga, people are doing sinful activities very public, and if you want to practice devotional service, they have to go in some corner. So uh, and practice, So this is Kali Yuga. But one good thing about Kali Yuga is Kaler Dosho Nidhiran. Asteka Mahan. Kirtana Teva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramrajas. But wonderful thing of Kali Yuga is that in this Kali Yuga, if you do the Kirtan, especially Sankirtan, Krishna Varnam Tushas Krishnam Sangha Pangast Yagya is Sankirtana Prayer. Yajantihi Sumedasa. One good thing about this Kali Yuga is that Supreme Lord appears here in form of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and start this Sankirtan moment, chanting of the holy names of Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And before Lord Chaitanya appears, he sends all his other associates. And one of the very important associates of Lord Chaitanya is Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya appears before Lord Chaitanya. So today is appearance day of Advaita Acharya. He is Supreme Personality Godhead, Bhagwan himself. But he has the mood of devotee, and he's teaching devotional service. He's Acharya. He appeared in Navagram, and his father's name was Kuvera Pandit, and mother's name was Nabi Devi. Both of them were also great devotees. As a small child, Advaita Acharya was given name Kamalaksha, as well as another name was Advaita. So when, as a small baby, when Advaita appeared in this world, first words he spoke was Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Nobody knew why he's chanting Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So, mm, but as a small baby, when he appeared, he was no uh, telling that Lord Sri Chaitanya is going to come and deliver everybody. So he came almost 60 years before Lord Chaitanya. So when he was born mm, in a very respectable family. Later on, when he was 4 years old, that time his parents shifted to Shantipur from Navgram, and in Shantipur mm, he grew up. Later on, his parents left this world, and when his parents left this world, then Advaita went to Gaya to perform his Shraddha. And after that, he also visited many holy places around India. And it was during his yatra that he met Madhvendra Puri. Mm. And then he accepted initiation from Madhvendra Puri. So, though Advaita is Supreme Lord, he is also accepting initiation just to teach everybody that nobody can be a devotee of Krishna without mercy of Vaishnava, without mercy of spiritual master. So we see that Advaita was the foremost of the Brahmanas, and he was foremost of the devotees, Vaishnava. And he was very much respected among all uh, uh, both general community of Brahmanas and Vaishnava community. He was considered as leader among everybody. But his best friend was Haridas Thakur. When Haridas Thakur came to Shantipur, Pulia and all that area, Advaita personally received him. Personally, he was so happy to make accommodation arrangements for him. And he embraced him. He danced and chanted with him. He made so many wonderful prasadam arrangements for him. She loved association of Haridas Thakur. Advaita is playing role of Vaishnava. So he loves Vaishnavas. So Haridas Thakur and Advaita stayed many years in Shantipur. We see that time when there was this Shraddha ceremony of his father, and all the Brahmanas were invited for the Shraddha ceremony. And there is one special ritual where in the first offering of prasad is given to the topmost Brahmana, the senior most Brahmana, most elevated Brahmana, most qualified person. So all the qualified Brahmanas and had come there, and when that special first honor of giving that prasadam, Advaita took that prasad and offered to Haridas Thakur, and everybody was shocked. This was more than 500 years ago, when uh, there was mm, little perverted caste system, where people were considered Brahmanas by birth. We see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains Chaturvarna Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Krishna explains that this Varnashtam is based on Guna and Karma, based on qualities and activities. But nature of Kali Yuga is that things degrade. So in Kali Yuga, uh, 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 things degraded, and people started considering Varna based on not Guna and Karma, but by Janma, by birth. If somebody is born in a Brahman family, they consider he's Brahmana. And if somebody is not Brahman family, they consider him non-Brahmana. And that time, uh, India and especially Bengal was ruled by Muslim uh, rulers. And Hindus were very orthodox that time. Even if sometime just water from the water pot of a Muslim or a non-Hindu falls on the body of a Hindu, they would consider him as outcast, and Hindus would banish him. So that was the time where such orthodox caste system was there, where people had forgotten essence of all dharma. Mm. That time, Advaita who was most respectable leader of Brahmanas, he gave that honor of first prasadam to Haridas Thakur, who was born in Muslim family. He was not only not what to speak of, not Brahmana, he was not even Hindu. But Advaita could understand. He's a great devotee of Lord. He's always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One who is surrendered to Supreme Lord Krishna, one who's chanting his holy names, he is actually topmost Brahmana. He is greater than Brahmana. He is Vaishnava. And therefore, he can deliver everybody. So, knowing the glories of devotional service, knowing the glories of holy names, and knowing the glories of Haridas Thakur, Advaita Acharya honored Haridas Thakur. So, we see that Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur, actually, there were hardly any Vaishnavas there at that time. Mm. So, very few Vaishnavas, Haridas Thakur, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, So, though Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, they were chanting, but their heart were filled with pain. And their greatest pain was to see people of Kali Yuga completely engrossed in materialism, even in name of religion. Navadip, that time, was highest seat of learning. All great scholars and pandits stayed there. Uh, Bhattas, Mishra, Chakravartis, all great scholars of scripture stayed there. They were so expert in quoting Sanskrit and so many scriptures, but unfortunately, they're all karma kandits. Some of them were attached to impersonal path, and some of them were even atheistic, using scriptures to promote atheism. So, in that way, people were wasting their valuable human form of life. So, when Advaita Acharya and all Vaishnavas saw, they felt very pained in heart. Many of them were just worshipping demigods. Some of them were worshipping snake goddesses. Some of them were worshipping yakshas. Mm. Some of them were busy performing very pompous, very elaborate marriages of their daughters and sons, and just making big show. Some of them were also spending so much money marrying their cats and dogs also. So, in that way, practically, nobody was interested in devotional service. Nobody was interested in bhakti. Mm, And in that way, they were spoiling their human form life. And when Advaita Acharya and others saw, especially Vaishnavas saw, their hearts were pained. Mm. And when these Vaishnavas would do kirtans, mm, other people would consider as a great disturbance. Mm. Some of them, when they saw there were some kirtans going on, they in house of Shivas Thakur, they were thinking that we should lift this house of Shivas and throw it in Ganga. Along with that, throw all the Vaishnavas also. So, atmosphere was actually materialistic. So that time, Advaita Acharya made a vow that I will bring Krishna down. He was thinking, these people of Kali Yuga are so degraded, maybe I will not be able to deliver them. Maybe Krishna himself may have to come to deliver all these fallen conditioned souls. Actually, Srivas Thakur is Narada Muni, who is deliverer of all fallen souls. He was also thinking maybe the situation hopeless. Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu. Mm. Mm. But still, all they were thinking that maybe Supreme Lord himself has to come to deliver the people of this fallen age. So that time Advaita Acharya was reading scriptures and he read that anybody worships Krishna by offering tulsi and Ganga water, Krishna becomes very pleased and fulfills all their desires. So he was very inspired, and then Advaita Acharya took a vow and he started fasting and every day worshipping Shaligram with Ganga Jal and Tulsi. And he was crying, crying, calling out to Krishna that, "Oh Krishna, please come and deliver this ignorant people of this world." So we see Supreme Lord, whenever there is degradation too much, Lord appears here. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushknam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So in every age, Lord appears. So this was the age of Kali. So Lord uh, wanted to appear as Yuga Avatar, and especially was inspired uh, by the prayers of Advaita Acharya, because Advaita Acharya cried out with great desperation, with great compassion. So that is what inspired uh, Supreme Lord to appear in age of Kali as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we see on Gaur Purnima, which we are going to celebrate after some time, Lord Chaitanya appeared in Navadip in Mayapur Dham. That time Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya were, at Shantipur. The occasion when, there is eclipse and Lord Chaitanya appeared and everybody was chanting Hari Hari, Krishna Krishna, and they were chanting holy names. That time actually, Advaita Acharya, and Haridas Thakur became so jubilant, so happy. They started chanting and dancing very loudly on the banks of Ganga in Shantipur. And nobody in Shanti could understand why they are so happy, why they are so jubilant, why they are chanting and dancing so enthusiastically. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So Advaita Acharya could understand that Supreme Lord Krishna has fulfilled his promise, has fulfilled his prayer, and he has appeared in Navadip Mayapur Dham. So immediately he sent his wife Sita Thakurani with lot of gifts. Sita Thakurani then goes and she participates in birth ceremony and name giving ceremony, many other ceremonies in along with Sachimata in Mayapur. So we see when Sri Chaitanya Babu appeared as little Nimai, he induced everybody to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We see later on then Advaita Acharya shifted his home uh, from Shantipur to Mayapur. He had two homes. One he had in Shantipur, but he also stayed at Mayapur. He made his residence Mayapur also, just near the house of Srivas Thakur. If you today also go, there is Srivas Thakur's home, and beside that Advaita Bhavan is there. So there used to be daily satsang at house of Advaita Acharya, and all Vaishnavas would come to hear from him. Advaita Acharya was so expert in explaining all the scriptures, and he would explain all the scriptures in uh, um, with explain them with the essence of bhakti, essence of devotional service. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's elder brother, Nimai's elder brother, Vish, Vishwarup, was a regular attendee in those programs. And later on, we see that how when Vishwarup used to go and to Advaita's home to attend the programs, little Nimai used to come to call Vishwarup, telling mother is calling for prasad, please come. And Advaita and all other Vaishnavas used to see him, little Nimai, and they used to get fascinated, enchanted. But till that time, mm, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nimai had not revealed his supreme position. But anyway, everybody, whenever used to come in, Nimai used to come in assembly of Vaishnavas to call Vishwarup back home. Everybody used to get captivated by his beauty. Later on, we see that how Vishwarup became very much interested in Shastras, and then later on, he developed some disinterest in materialistic life. And one night, he left home and took sannyas. When Vishwarup took sannyas, mm, mm, Mother Sachi's heart was broken. Jagannath Mishra, father, was heartbroken. Rather, we see later on, father could not tolerate that pain and he left the world. That time, Nimai gave assurance to, when actually Vishwarup took sannyas, Nimai gave assurance to Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata that don't worry, I'll be there with you. But later, even Jagannath Mishra left the world. So that time, mm, we see Sachimata was thinking in mind, in heart of heart, that it is because of Advaita that my son took sannyas. I lost son because of this Advaita. So she had developed some ill feelings towards Advaita. And we see later on in past times when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested his Sankirtan pastimes and he was distributing freely love for Krishna. All devotees are requesting you should bestow your mother Sachi with love for Krishna. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, I cannot give her love. And everybody is wondering why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Namo Mahavadanya, very merciful and showering love and mercy to everybody. Why he is not giving love to his own mother, Sachimata? Then Lord Chaitanya revealed that because Sachi Mata has performed offense at lotus feet of Advaita by criticizing Advaita, blaming Advaita that he is cause of Vishwarup sannyas. And when Advaita heard, he said there is no question of offense. She is a Jagat Mata. She is a universal mother. She is so there is no question of any offense. There is no offense, but still mm, uh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we see in Kirtans then, when Advaita are chanting and dancing, he fainted in ecstasy. That time, Sachimata went and took the dust of Advaita Acharya's feet and begged forgiveness. And when Sachimata begged forgiveness from Advaita Acharya and took dust from the feet of Advaita Acharya, then Lord Chaitanya was very pleased with Sachimata and then he gave uh, pure love for Krishna to him. So we see that um, earlier when Nimai was very small, later on he grew up, then he was performing his pastimes of being a great grammarian, great scholar, great teacher. He was not uh, manifesting his devotional sentiments. So that time all Vaishnavas were praying, when will this Nimai become devotee? It would be so wonderful. And we see that after Jagannath Mishra passed away, and when especially Shichet Mahaprabhu had gone to Gaya to do Shraddha, he met Ishwar Puri there, and there he took there he took initiation from Ishwar Puri. And from that time onwards, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started manifesting his pastimes as a devotee. He was always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we can see even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this principle to just make us understand how important is mercy of Vaishnava, how important is mercy of spiritual master. Without mercy of Vaishnavas, without mercy of spiritual master, no one can be a devotee. So after that time, when Nimai came back to Navadip, all Vaishnavas were so happy to see Nimai uh, has become a devotee. One time, Advaita Acharya was worshipping his Shaligram Shila at his home, and he was just chanting and crying to Lord. And his chanting was filled with so much of emotion and compassion. So that time, Nimai Pandit and Gadadhar came to see Advaita Acharya. And when Nimai Pandit heard Advaita chanting, how he's calling out to Lord and how he's praying and he's just by hearing the chanting of the holy names from the lotus lips of Advaita Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, he just fainted and became unconscious. And then when Advaita saw Nimai has come and then he's fainted and unconscious, immediately Advaita was worshipping Shaligram Shila. He took all the paraphernalia and started worshipping Nimai Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With all the Shodasopchar, he started worshipping him. And then Gadadhar was there. And Gadadhar said, "Hey, Advaita, what are you doing? Why are you worshipping Nimai? Lord Advaita is praying to Nimai and chanting prayers. Namo Brahmane Devaya, Go Brahmane Hitaya Cha, Jagad Hitaya, Krishnaya, Govindaya, Namo Nama." So Gadadhar was little confused. Are, why you are worshipping in that way, like one worship Krishna? Then Advaita said, "My dear Gadadhar, how long we can remain in ignorance? How long we can consider this Nimai as ordinary boy? When will you understand this Nimai is not ordinary boy? He is original Supreme Person of Godhead. He is Krishna. He has come uh, to fulfill mm, everybody's desires. He has come to bless everybody. He has come to deliver whole world." So after that puja was over, then Chetmapu, Nimai Pandit, came back to consciousness. And when he came, mm, he was so inspired by chanting of the holy names and then immediately fell at the feet of Advaitacharya and started glorifying Advaitacharya. Then Advaita said, "My dear Lord, now if enough, no more we can be cheated. We now know you are Supreme Lord." And he said, no, no, he did not say that. That is happens later on. So that time, the Lord Chaitanya touches the feet of Advaita Acharya. Mm, mm. And no, Lord Chaitanya would always respect Advaita Acharya because he was the senior most Vaishnav in Navadip. Later on, Advaita Acharya decided in his mind that I am going to test Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and I am going to reveal to whole world glories of Mahaprabhu. So thinking that in a way, he left Shantipur, he left Mayapur, Navadip, and went to Shantipur. This in Mayapur and Shantipur, they are nearby only 1 hour, 1.5 hour distance. So in his mind, he was thinking that mm, I have been praying for Supreme Lord to come and appear in this world and deliver everybody. If this Nimai Pandit or this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this same Supreme Lord, he will understand my heart and he will call me from Shantipur. I will not come back unless he himself calls, and I will like to test him whether he is the same Lord whom I have been praying and worshipping for so many years. So, no, so then he went to Shantipur. As soon as he went to Shantipur, then Nimai Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to the house of Shiva's. He met Shiva's brother, Ramai Pandit, and he told Ramai Pandit that Advaita Acharya has come. He was here and he has been praying uh, mm, to bring me here in this world. But now he has gone to Shantipur and he wants to test me. So you should go and give him this message that the same Lord for whom you have prayed, you have cried, has appeared. So please come. Don't be in Shantipur. Please come to Mayapur. So when Ramai Pandit heard this message immediately, he went to Shantipur and he gave that message. He said, "My dear Advaita Acharya, that you have been praying and your prayers have been answered. And Supreme Lord, whom you have been praying for, has appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and is calling you in Navadip, Mayapur. So please come." So when Advaita heard that, he was very, very happy. He said, "Okay, I will come." but I will not directly come in front of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I will come to Navadvip Mayapur, but I will hide in some place. Unless Lord Chaitanya himself, calls me from that hiding place, I will not come. So then later on we see that how Advaita comes from Shantipur and he comes to Mayapur, but he hides in the house of he and such this Sita Thakur Mataji and son Achyutananda. His son was Achyutananda Advaitacharya's. So they hide in the house of Nandanacharya. Later on we see Nityananda Prabhu hides in the house of Nandanacharya. And when Ramay Pandit comes and informs informs Lord Chaitanya that yeah, uh, that he has given the message. Immediately Lord Chaitanya says, I know this Nada has come and now he's hiding in the place of Nandanacharya. He's trying to test me. He said, go and bring him from there. So when later on Advaitacharya comes to know how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord and he is in Paramatma in heart of everyone and he knows his heart, so immediately become very ecstatic. And then he comes to place of Shiva's Thakur. So when he comes to Shiva's place, so Lord Chaitanya revealed to him beautiful form of Shyam Sundar Krishna. And he saw how Brahma, Narada, Shiva, and all great sages and all great devatas were worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He saw how Mother Ganga was worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He saw all Nagas, many hooded snakes, they were worshipping. He saw that all saints and sages and their wives, they were worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Advaita got that beautiful divine darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and his heart's desire was fulfilled. So Advaita later on worshipped Lord Chaitanya with all the wonderful paraphernalia, and then Lord Chaitanya later on placed his lotus feet on the head of Advaita, thus blessing him and fulfilling his desires. Another time, actually, we see all these Vaishnavas would assemble in house of Shivas and they used to have kirtans, sankirtans and all that. One time, Advaita came in house of Shiva's Thakur and he was just dancing uncontrollably. Dancing and dancing and dancing. And hours passed, there was no sign of his stopping the dance. And Vaishnavas were feeling little tired and they somehow other, they tried to stop Advaita. We have to do other things also, And then when he stopped his dancing, then devotees all decided that we'll go to Ganga to take bath. So all devotees went to Ganga to take bath. Advaita stayed there only. He did not go. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he saw that Advaita is silent, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Advaita, I have come here to please you. I'm extremely pleased with you. So please ask any benediction you want. That time, the Advaita in order to reveal glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked him benediction. He said, my dear Lord, I know that you revealed that beautiful universal form to Arjuna on battlefield of Kurukshetra. I have that desire to see that same universal form. Please bless me with that vision. So immediately, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to him that beautiful land of Kurukshetra. And he revealed how so many armies from both sides had assembled. And he revealed that how beautiful chariot on which, Arjuna was sitting and then he himself was sitting. And then immediately in front of eyes of Advaita, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed that universal form with millions of hands, millions of legs, millions of eyes, millions of mouths. And also he revealed that form of time feature where millions of living entities are going in the mouth and they were being crushed by this power of time. So that great, wonderful, universal form darshan was revealed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for Advaita Acharya. Nityananda Prabhu understood what's happening, so Nityananda Prabhu immediately came there, and he also had that beautiful darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealing universal form to Advaita Acharya. So basically, Advaita Acharya wanted to reveal to whole world that this Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not ordinary person. He's Krishna himself. And he has come to deliver everybody. We see uh, how Advaita Acharya was a very honorable personality. And in practical dealings, Lord Chaitanya always respected Advaita Acharya as elder, as superior. And Advaita Acharya was uh, god brother of Ishwarpuri, his guru. So he treated him like guru only. But Advaita Acharya never liked that honor. He always wanted to be considered as servant. So we'll read this wonderful verse from, let me, it's a very nice verse. Twinport requested me that today is fasting till noon, so maybe we can continue till 9:30. Today's class, is that okay? Okay. So Advaita Acharya, mm, what is his sentiment? What is his mood? What he likes? Here it is mentioned in this verse. Adi, Chaitanya Adi Lila, chapter 6, text number 86. Chaitanya Das Mui, Chaitanya Das, Chaitanya Das Mui, Taradas Das, Chaitanya Das Mui, Chaitanya Das, Chaitanya Das Mui, Taradas Das, Chaitanya Das Mui, Chaitanya Das, Chaitanya Das Mui, Tare Daser Das. So I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya, a servant of Lord Chaitanya. I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya and a servant of his servants. So that is heart of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya, Lord himself, but he did not like to be worshipped of Lord. He did not like being respected by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hmm? Rather, he was in his heart always thinking himself to be servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and considering himself servant of servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hmm. एत बोली नाचे गाए हुंकार गंभीर शन के वसीला आचार्य हईनो सुस्थिर. Saying this, Advaita Prabhu dances and loudly sings. Then at the next moment, he quietly sits down. Bhakta abhimana mula Shri Balarame sei bhave anugat tar amshagane. The source of the sentiment of servitude is indeed Lord Balram. The plenary expansions who follow him are all influenced by that ecstasy. So, Balram is also Supreme Lord, but he has the sentiment of being servant. So, similarly, all expansions of Balram, like from Balram comes Sankarshan Pradyu Vasudev, from Sankarshan comes in Narayan, from Narayan comes again Sankarshan Pradyu Vasudev, and from that Sankarshan comes Mahavishnu. So, everybody has that mood of servant. So, everybody considers themselves as servant of Krishna. All Narayans consider themselves servant of Krishna. So all not only Balram and all expansions. Nobody likes to think themselves to be master. They all want to be considered as servant of Krishna. So not only devotees like Hanumanji uh, consider themselves servant of Krishna, but even Vishnu Tattvas, starting from Balram, everybody is uh, extremely blissful to consider themselves as servant of Krishna. They're all influenced by that ecstasy, it is said, ecstasy. तार अवतार एक श्री संकर्षण भक्त बोली अभिमान करे सर्वक्षण. Lord Sankarshan, who is one of his incarnation, always consider himself a devotee. तार अवतार अन श्रीयुत लक्ष्मण श्री रामेर दास्यति हो कैल अनुक्षण. Andhra of his incarnation, Lakshman, who is very beautiful and opulent, always serves Lord Ram. संकर्षण अवतार करण अब्धिशायी तार हृदय भक्त भाव अनुयायी. The Vishnu who lies on the causal ocean is an incarnation of Lord Sankarshan, and accordingly, the emotions of being a devotee is always present in his heart. Hmm? तार प्रकाश भेद अद्वैत आचार्य काय मनो वाक्य तार भक्ति सदा कार्य. Advaita Acharya is a separate expansion of Mahavishnu. He always engages in devotional service with his thoughts, words, and actions. वाक्य कहे मुई चैतन्य अनुचर मुई तार भक्त माने भाव निरंतर. By his words he declares, I am servant of Lord Chaitanya. Thus with his mind he always thinks, I am his devotee. So this is the mood of Advaita Acharya. Uh, And Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami explains how everybody in the spiritual world consider themselves servant. Even Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, they are mother and father, but deep in heart they have that servitude. Similar gopis, similarly queens of Dwarka, they never consider themselves as equal to Krishna. They consider themselves as maid servants of Krishna. Similarly, gopis of Vrindavan, they consider themselves as servants of Krishna. So everybody, the most prominent that feeling of servitude is there, and in that servitude, there's so much ecstasy. So it is said that the joy of impersonal liberation, you multiply it millions of times. That cannot be compared with one drop of joy of being uh, servitude of Krishna. So all of them are, in supreme ecstasy of being servant of Krishna. And amazing is that Krishna also wants to become his servant. And therefore he comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mm. So we see Advaita Acharya was feeling very uncomfortable. Our Lord Chaitanya always worshipping him, Lord Chaitanya always honoring him, mm, respecting him. So one time he thought that maybe mm, I want Lord Chaitanya to accept me as servant and beat me. And like servant, if he is servant, you can chastise him, beat him. So he was thinking what to do. Then he understood that the thing which displeases Lord Chaitanya most is Mayavad philosophy. So he thought maybe I will start promoting Mayavad philosophy. And then Lord Chaitanya will forget honoring and respecting me. And so then he goes to Shantipur and starts preaching Mayavad, Shankara's philosophy. And when Lord Chaitanya hears about it, he wanted to be sure, so he wanted to go and meet uh, Advaita personally and see. So Nityananda took him, and on the way they went to Lalitpur. We know that famous story. Nityananda took him to Lalitpur, and one sannyasi. So sannyasi received both Nityananda and Chaitanya very nicely. And then when Chaitanya offered obeisances to that sannyasi, mm, that sannyasi gave him blessings, how you can enjoy dhanam, janam, sundarim, all these things in this world, how you can enjoy a lot of material opulence. Then Chaitanya was confused. He said, what kind of sannyasi is this? He's giving materialistic, blessings. He should give blessings of, pure love for Krishna. And what are this use of this materialistic blessings? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just said, Are, why are you giving some this materialistic blessings? So then sannyasi started telling, Are, you are kid only. I am such a great sannyasi. I have traveled all the holy places. I have studied all scriptures, and you are not even no. You are like a milk baby drinking mother's milk, and now you are going to teach me what blessings you have to give and all these things. Nityananda understood. Nityananda tried to take care of the situation. He started glorifying that sannyasi, how exalted, and this is there. Meanwhile, after some time, one lady came with fruits and drinks to give to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda, who's she? And Nityananda said, she's sannyasi's wife. And Lord Chaitanya was shocked. How can a sannyasi have a wife? And then later on, that sannyasi was asking, do you want some ananda, some bliss? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not understand what is he really asking. But Nityananda, because he was very expert and he had traveled all the holy places, he knew all sadhus, he knew all this thing. So yeah, as soon as he said, do you want bliss? He understood what that bliss means. And he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he's asking, do you want wine? And when he heard that, he couldn't, uh, he was surprised and immediately he took hold of Nityananda's hand and started running and just ran from that place and jumped in Ganga to purify himself. But our Acharyas explained that you just say this sannyasi was a bogus sannyasi, he was a cheating sannyasi, he was having all sense gratification, he was sinful sannyasi. But still, Lord Chaitanya accepted his hospitality. He went to his home. He took the fruits. So he accepted the hospitality of sinful sannyasi. So it is said Lord Chaitanya can deliver patit people, fallen people. No matter how fallen they are, Lord Chaitanya can bless them and deliver them. But we see later on when Lord Chaitanya Nityananda swam across the Ganga and came to Shantipur. And when Lord Chaitanya heard Advaita Acharya speaking Shankaracharya's bhashya of Mayavad philosophy, Lord Chaitanya became so angry. First of all, he couldn't believe Advaita Acharya speaking like that. And then when Advaita saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming there and Nityananda there, he started speaking more enthusiastically, more loudly, teachings of Advaita philosophy, teachings of Mayavad philosophy. So Lord Chaitanya became very, very angry. So he immediately went to Advaita, caught hold of his collar, caught hold of his neck, and asked Advaita, please tell me which is superior, bhakti or gyan? Advaita Acharya said, obviously, without doubt, this gyan, impersonal conception God, is the supreme. So when he responded like that, Lord Chaitanya just with his fist started beating Advaita. And Advaita was fall on the ground, and then no, Advaita was great ecstasy. He was very happy, and Chaitanya was angry and beating him. And Advaita's wife, Sita Thakurani, when she saw Advaita being beaten by Lord Chaitanya, she couldn't tolerate it. He said, my dear Lord, he is old man, he will die. Please spare him. And Advaita Acharya was in ecstasy, he was extremely blissful. He said, my dear Lord, where did your respect go away? Where did this go away? Uh, so that time immediately Lord Chaitanya understood Advaita Acharya is playing trick. And then mm, he understood how Advaita Acharya just he wanted to be chastised by Lord Chaitanya. He didn't want to be worshipped by Lord Chaitanya. He wanted Lord Chaitanya to accept him as servant. And just to accept him as servant, he did all that things. So Lord Chaitanya understood how much Advaita Acharya loves him and how much he wants to be servant. So when Lord Chaitanya bade him, he became ecstatic. So servant wants punishment from the Lord, master, mm, not just glorification. So real servant is happy being punished also by master. Rather, we see when Advaita was glorified by Lord Chaitanya, he was not happy. But when Lord Chaitanya bet him, he became ecstatic. So then that time, Lord Chaitanya said, anybody who accepts me and doesn't understand you and doesn't worship you, his devotional life will be ruined. Mm. And he said, uh, oh Advaita, please ask any benediction you want. I am so pleased. Advaita said, please bless that anybody who worships me and doesn't accept you, he get doomed. And later on we see how Advaita Acharya had 6 sons. Mm. Eldest being Achyutananda, who became great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Mm. And so 3 of Advaita's sons became great devotees of Lord Chaitanya, and continued Advaita's uh, lineage of devotional service. Whereas 3 of his sons became deviant. They considered Advaita Acharya as supreme and they did not give respect to Lord Chaitanya. So they became deviant and asar. So one can be son of even Supreme Lord and can get trapped by Maya. So one has to be very careful always. Never take for granted. So when we accept Lord Chaitanya, we have to accept Lord Chaitanya, we have to accept Lord Nityananda, we have to accept Lord Advaita. So we say every day we pray to Panchtattva, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shivasadi, Gaur Bhakturinda. So one doesn't worship Lord alone, one worship Lord and his assets. Mm. So especially when you are worshipping Lord Chaitanya, we should also worship Advaita Acharya because it's by mercy of Advaita that we have Chaitanya and Nityananda. दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तव कृपा बले पाय चैतन्य निताय दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तव कृपा बले पाय चैतन्य निताय दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तव कृपा बले पाय चैतन्य निताय So devotees seek uh, blessings from Advaita Acharya because by his mercy we can get mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We see when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas and then Nityananda Prabhu diverted him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan, but Nityananda Prabhu very expertly diverted him, brought him to Shantipur. Mm. And when Lord Chaitanya was taking bath on the other side of Ganga, from here Advaita came on a boat with wonderful new clothes for Lord Chaitanya. And when Lord Chaitanya saw Advaita, he said, Advaita, what are you doing here in Vrindavan? Then Advaita said, my dear Lord, you are in Shantipur. Mm, mm, this is my home. But then immediately changed. He said, my dear Lord, where are you? Wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. And he said, you are taking bath there. That here at Prayag, Ganga and Yamuna meets. On western side it is Yamuna, eastern side is Ganga. So you have taken bath in the western side. So you are taking bath in Yamuna. So it's Ganga. Mm. So like that. And then we see how Lord Chaitanya came to the house of Advaita, stayed there for many days. And then all devotees from Navadip came to Advaita Acharya's home and they had big celebration. Especially Mother Sachi came and she cooked for uh, Lord Chaitanya, and how Advaita Acharya fed Nityananda and Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu profusely. We see one time Advaita Acharya had made so much prasadam arrangements for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a long past time. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Arey, so much prasadam, how will you take? How will I eat it so much? Advaita said, my dear Lord, don't cheat me. In Jagannath Puri, you eat so much. Mountains of rice and all this. This is nothing compared to that. No? And that time Nityananda was there. He said, what is this Advaita Acharya? No? So we have been fasting couple of days and traveling. We had not enough prasadam. We are fasting. It seems that today you have given so little prasadam. Maybe we'll have to fast today also. No? So today we have to fast. So we see Nityan Prabhu and Advaita Acharya had different relationship, you know. So they were also very friendly and they used to make a lot of jokes. They used to fight. Uh, but actually, one should not misunderstand Advaita Acharya and Nityan Prabhu's pastimes. They are very, very intimate and jovial. So Advaita Acharya said, hey, whatever is given, you take it. No, don't ask more. You are Avdut and you are such sannyasi, you are just there to create disturbance for grastas like me. You are bogus sannyasi or something like that. So Advaita speaking and Nityanpu was also speaking, you know. So but they were friendly pastimes. Later on we see in Jagannath Puri also, whenever all devotees are going to Indradhan Sarovar for bathing, different devotees are bathing and playing. Advaita and Nityanpu are having jovial pastimes. So anyway, so they are both lords. Uh, so it is said nobody should take anybody's sides. No, if anybody takes anybody's side, they will be doomed. So sometimes Vanishnavas there can be no quarrel, fight, jovial fight. So one should not misunderstand that and not take sides. So also we see that how it was Lord Advaita Acharya who prayed and called Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this world. And later on, when Lord Chaitanya, this Harinam Sankirtan spread every town and village, practically there was so much. Then time came, Advaita came and gave message to Lord Chaitanya that actually your mission is over now. So if you wish, you can go back. And after that, we see that how Lord Chaitanya disappeared from this world. So it was Lord Chaitanya, Lord Advaita Acharya only who invited Lord Chaitanya. And then he was extremely pleased with Advaita Acharya. One time, Lord Chaitanya was so pleased, he said, Advaita Acharya, please ask any benediction you want. Advaita said, I'm so happy now. I have no desire, anything. He said, no, no, I'm very pleased. Please ask any benediction you want. Then he said, my dear Lord, you want to really bless me? So you have delivered all the devotees, all those who are chanting Hare Krishna. Now please deliver all those sinful people who are most fallen, who are averse to, you. So it was actually compassion of Advaita Acharya that has invoked Lord Chaitanya to shower his unlimited mercy and deliver everybody. We see that our founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he used to also go to Shantipur. And the other day, our Krishna was telling when Prabhupada was having difficulty in getting land in Shantipur, getting land in Mayapur, Prabhupada wanted Mayapur to be world headquarters of ISKCON. But when there was some difficulty and there was difficulty getting land, then Prabhupada had said, in case we are not able to get land, then we can get land in Shantipur and we can make Shantipur as our world headquarters. So Prabhupada respected that place Shantipur because that is place of Advaita Acharya. Anyway, by Krishna's mercy, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, ISKCON could get a lot of land in Mayapur. Now we have headquarters in Mayapur. And we see in Shantipur, there is Shantipur festival every year. We see that on disappearance day of Madhavendra Puri, spiritual master of Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya arranged a big festival in honor of Madhavendra Puri, and he fed thousands and thousands of people prasadam. So since that day till today, every year there is Shantipur festival, and lakhs of people get prasad on that day. So just see, so many 500 years ago that pastime took place, and till today that festival is going on in Shantipur. And Prabhupada also used to go to Shantipur to get blessings from Advaita Acharya. We see Prabhupada when he was in college, Prabhupada acted in drama. There was a director of drama who trained the students for 1 year for playing the role. They were depicting Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. So after 1 year, when the director was very happy, he allowed them to perform on the stage. And when they performed Chaitanya's Leela on stage, practically all the audience was crying. And Srila Prabhupada was playing the role of Advaita Acharya. And when Advaita Acharya was, Srila Prabhupada in role of Advaita Acharya crying and praying that, oh Lord, please descend and deliver. When he was crying and praying, Prabhupada said, I looked at the audience, whole audience was crying. So we see Advaita Acharya had that compassion in his heart, and that brought good fortune to everybody. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada also, not only he played role of Advaita Acharya in drama, but actually he had also that compassion of Advaita Acharya to deliver the whole world. And by compassion of actually Srila Prabhupada, we see now people around the world are getting opportunity to worship Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga. Otherwise, who would know Nitai Gauranga in the West? Mm. So, not only actually beyond Bengal, many were not knowing Nitai Gauranga. And in Bengal's people have no proper understanding. But it was Srila Prabhupada who gave proper understanding of Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga, proper understanding of who Advaita Acharya is and all Panch Tattva. And he is one who spread this Sankirtan mission everywhere. So we can today on auspicious occasion of Advaita Acharya's appearance day, Advaita Saptami, we can pray to Advaita Acharya that we can also develop that mood of servant, Chaitanya Das Mui, Chaitanya Das, Chaitanya Das Mui, Daser Anudas. So we can develop that mood of servant of Lord Chaitanya. Advaita Acharya is a Lord, but he wants to be a servant. We are servant, but due to Maya, we want to become Lord. So we can pray that by blessings of Advaita Acharya, we can come to our constitutional position of being accepting ourselves as servant of devotees. We can also pray to Advaita Acharya that we can develop faith in Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is just not ordinary person; he is Supreme Lord Krishna, who has descended in the age to propagate this Nam Sankirtan and take everybody back to Godhead. So we can pray for that faith. Lord Advaita Acharya had so much faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his one of the greatest joy was to reveal the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and explain to whole world how Lord Chaitanya is Supreme Person of Godhead. And we can also pray to Advaita Acharya that we can also develop some drop of compassion. We can become instrument in hands of spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas, the instrument of their compassion to spread this Krishna consciousness, especially to spread these holy names everywhere. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Advaita Acharya ki jai, Shri Advaita Saptami ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Chaitamrit ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much.